My real name is Rachid Ouramdane, and I just premiered my new project in the Extra Festival. And it's a project where I just continue to dig in the relation that I can establish between interviews and stage, and to see how we can bring real fact, autobiographic fact, based on private life, on the life of singular people, and to see how that can help to touch social phenomenon, but at the same time to help me to find new way of narration on stage. And it's what I tried to do in this last project, in which I worked with people who had endured torture, and the project was really based on how is it possible to transmit that, to tell that, if it's possible to transmit it. I was much more interested about their capacity to adapt and to come back to humanity, and everything they had to deal with to find solution, to restart, to believe in human.
Yeah.
And it's much more about this. How could we make the récit of such experience?
Decide to use certain kind of specific kind of trained bodies. For me, kind of very particular.
Yeah.
You can call very, very flexible bodies or contortionism.
Yeah.
It's almost like this.
Some of them are coming from circus, from contortion in circus, but it was not so much to make a kind of numero, but it was much more because I was interested by people who can metamorphose on stage, and because everything I heard in the interview was that a lot of people say, all those dictature and the torture happened because people refuse to see, because they start to watch down, and they, in a way, by this passivity, they became complex. And I was wondering, how can I touch that through the body? And I decided to work with those people who looks like you and me, normal people, and suddenly and gradually they switch, and they start to melt, and they start to twist, and you start to realize that something is not normal. There is something first that I don't understand how it's possible, or that I have to react. It was really this that I wanted to establish in parallel with those interviews. When do I decide as a viewer, as a spectator, to say this situation is not normal, I have to react, and I have to recognize it. And that's why I decided to work with those people. Because for me, what was the most important thing, and that's the thing that I understand through all those interviews I did, is that if you want to understand something from those people, you have to spend time with them. And you cannot have a mediatic approach, like just the shocking words. If you do that, you just how to say that, you are just in this emotive perception of the torture. And if you really want to understand the phenomenon and the complexity of it, and how people can do it, and how people can try to reshape themselves after that, the first thing that you have to admit, because it's so complex, you have to listen to them, and you have to spend some time with them, and to take a long time with them.
Forcé, il faut revivre, il faut soi-même ressentir encore une fois, et chaque fois c'est difficile et différemment difficile. Chaque fois ça applique des émotions, une vague d'émotions qui nous fragilise.
I had to admit that it was, for me it was really impossible to do anything at the same time when we were listening the text.
Yeah.
Then it was a kind, I totally gave up.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, then if it's like this, we just listen to interviews, and after that we create a form, quite abstract after this intense reality, and we try to see how those words can find an echo on the body after that on a mute form.
Yeah.
It's a bit abstract to say this like this, but it's really what I understand, and what those it's how those interviews organize the dramaturgy of the piece. I didn't plan anything, but I had to admit that it was just not possible to propose any image, because you just had to illustrate those atrocious experiences. But just by the fact that you delay, and that we are going in this relation with the body, how we said before, questioning the way you watch the thing and all, you had to rethink everything you heard, and that was how I used the text.